Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great for recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day, guys. Guys, please don't forget to give the video a like. Don't forget to subscribe, give the video a like, leave me a comment, and share it with somebody who might get something out of it. Sorry, I think I get that right at 180 consecutive times, right? Too funny. Progress, not perfection, guys, like I always say. Alright, guys. So, the just for today any meditation was very specific to the eighth step, which I haven't gone through yet. So I'm going to tailor it more just to a general, as I often do. But basically, it was it was it was titled. I forgot to write that. Relations with others, and I think that's an important topic, guys, because that's something that all of us can improve, and particularly those of us in recovery is a very big deal, is our relationships with other people and our relationship with ourselves. But this one's about relations with others. It says, we made a list of all persons we harmed and we became willing to make amends to all of them. And that is the eighth step. But again, you don't have to look at that as the eighth step. It's just always a good idea for anybody to do, particularly when you're coming out of active addiction into early recovery, because, guys, we like it or not, we do a lot of damage. Whether you're drinking, whether you're drugging, whether you're ripping and robbing, or just the self-centeredness that comes with addiction and alcoholism. We do damage to other people, and it's as simple as that. And I'm the first to admit that I have. And I used to swear up and down that my drug addiction only affected me because I cut everybody else out of my life. You don't think that affected them? I mean, come on, right? So anyway, all human beings struggle with self-centeredness. The chronic self-centeredness that lies at the very core of addiction makes that struggle doubly difficult. For people like us, may have lived as if we believe we're the last people on earth, utterly blind to the effect our behavior had on those around us. Today, that does not have to be the case. The variety of people around us, the quality of our relations and the quality of our relations to them determine to a great extent the the quality of our lives. Sorry, I guess my writing's terrible. I can't even read it. The quality of our lives to a great extent. Alright, so yeah, love, humor, excitement, caring, and the very things that make life worth living derive much of their meaning from being shared with others. Just for today, I want to enjoy the companionship of people around me. I will examine my relationships and see where I can improve them. Okay, sorry guys, I'm the one who have such a hard time reading today. Maybe because I just got up from a nap. I'd like to tell you guys what's going on, and I share that for a reason, guys. Yeah, it's Tuesday afternoon. I talked about yesterday. I had a pretty stressful day with having gotten pulled over with the other guy and all that crap, and just dealing with that nonsense all day. I didn't sleep well last night because it was really renting space in my head, going back and forth. Do I completely cut him out of my life? Do I put up better boundaries? And I'm not 100% sure. I will tell you this much though: I will never chase a tow truck around for him. And what I've decided to tell him, and again, today we didn't even become an issue because I heard he's all banged up today. So that shows where his mind is. So maybe I should really just cut him out altogether. But I'm going to give him one last chance. I'm going to tell him, if you want your truck fixed at my garage, you know how to get in the garage. It's it used to be a common garage. Everybody knows how to get in there. You can meet the tow truck driver down there. You have him back it in, and when it's in my garage, then I'll go work on it at my leisure. But I'm not gonna run around for you, have you blow me off, have you change my plans. You let me know when it's in the garage, and then I'll let you know when I can go look at it. And that's the best I'm going to do for him at that. So, and I think it's a very giving of me. I think it's I'm hesitant to even go that far, but that's where I'm gonna leave it for now. The guy does need help, and he's not willing to accept the help, and at the same time, it's a good job for me. I'm going to make good money on it, and he's going to have a heart attack when I hand him the bill, but I'm going to charge him, 3/4 of what the job's worth, just like I would anybody else. And that's that. So, guys, relations with others. Let's get back. Although, there you go. That is a perfect topic for it. But again, that's I need to practice what I preach. I tell you guys all the time, I've cut out everybody that was a part of my life in my old life that was, I was known directly through addiction. Now, he was my former bossman, and he doesn't, he wasn't a heroin addict. He's a big cokehead. So it's kind of a different deal there. But he's literally the only person I deal with that does drugs on a regular basis. And he literally causes me nothing but problems. So I do need to weed that out, and maybe giving him the bill off the end of this truck will be the one that cuts that out. But beyond that, guys, my relationships with everybody else today has improved greatly. I'm respected greatly by people today, and that's shocking. And again, I don't say that in a braggart way, guys. I say that because I show up every day, the same honest, hardworking, looking to uplift people around me, energy that I do, that I always do, and I'm consistent that day. And people know that when they call me, A, I'm going to answer my phone, B, I'm going to be coherent, and C, it's going to be the same person that it always is. And yes, it's amazing because I'm actually putting together a good little living today because I'm actually able to charge my worth. And guys, I used to think that for some reason I was the exception to every rule, and everybody should pay full price to everybody else, but it shouldn't pay me jack shit. And I wonder why I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. But again, that's because I was spending it all on drugs. So today, things are so much better today, guys. And I step out of my comfort zone at regular intervals. And part of the reason I'm beat was, yesterday was stressful, and this morning was a little. I was doing a job. When you do something you don't normally do. I'm not a tile guy by any means, but as you guys can tell from the crap on my hands, I was doing a tile job today. One of the new owners over at our project in Roxbury had asked me a couple weeks ago. He said, I don't even want to use my stove yet. I need to get the, and it's kind of a good point. We should have done something for a backsplash, but it wasn't drawn up that way. And he wanted the back wall of the the stove wall of the kitchen tiled. And I said, sure, no problem. I can get somebody to do this. As a matter of fact, I do some tile work, and I've done a couple of jobs this spring, and they worked out fantastically. So I said, if you'd like, I'd be more than happy to do it for you. And I ended up making good money in the job. And it came out absolutely amazing today, guys. As a matter of fact, I had to go back tomorrow and grout it. And when I do, I'll take some pictures. But it was awkward, and I was cutting, bent over, and my legs are a little sore today. And I think it's more from anything from yesterday. But again, all these relationships are improving my life today because I'm sober, because I'm applying myself. Guys, it's amazing to me the clarity that comes with just being sober. Never mind challenging yourself and studying and stepping up. But so many times I catch myself in a situation and I'm like, oh yeah, last time I did a job like this, I really struggled with this. And I walk in and I'm able to diagnose it and bang it out in a minute. And I'm like, oh, well. And now every time I look back without fail now, it's because last time I was doing heroin, smoking crack. No wonder I couldn't figure shit out. Because the amount of damage that drugs do to your brain is disgusting. I'm not saying it like the old 80s Ronald Reagan or Nancy Reagan, egg in the frying pan. I'm saying just the ability to think. Like I used to tell you, I was great. Oh, I could figure anything out. I mean, eventually I could, but today I can do it in seconds. Because that's what I do for a living, guys. And my brain is very analytical, and I'm able to figure things out. And I love the fact that's why I'm able to do, like most people specialize. They do one thing. Guys, I do windows, siding, carpentry, decks. I do concrete work. I do basically any masonry work. I do tile work. My main thing is plumbing and heating. I'm a master mechanic. I'm a master diesel mechanic. I do appliance repair. There's really not much that I can't go out and do commercially, and I can compete with people that are pros, been in the business for 30 years. It's funny, years and years ago, I went to I went to a psychic because I was with the girl and I was stopping. This woman was legit, and it's funny. The first thing the lady said to me, she goes, "You got to watch out for people stealing your energy because you're one of those people that's able to pick up anything and do it as good as a pro, and that's energy people like to steal." And I thought it was just this is like 30 years ago. I was blown away. I'm like, that made absolutely no sense to me. And it's funny. I look back over the years and it's incredibly true. It's turned out to me it's something that's incredibly true, and I love that about me. And the thing, again, guys, I don't say it to brag or ball, but I say it because you want better things in your life, guys. This is the way you got to focus, and this is the way things you got to look at yourself. Now, again, not toxic positivity. I also look at my life, and I look at the areas where I need help. And then I go out and deliberately work in those areas, and I do things to build myself up in that area. And again, for me, a big part of that is prayer and meditation, and that was my biggest deficiency back coming into rehab is the whole spiritual and existential and just introspective side of my life is where I needed the most work. So that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. I went introspective and I started looking at it, and I realized prayer and meditation is a fantastic way to learn what matters to you, who you are, who's at your core, and just become to develop a relationship with my higher power, to whom I choose to call God. And that's been it's been the most amazing thing. I'm constantly, and guys, again, I still deal with life on life's terms. Like I came back from work a little bit early today because my legs were killing me and I was absolutely beat and I was exhausted. I laid down at 2 o'clock and I literally just got woken up for I got to go out and do a job, and I got to reschedule one I was going to go to this afternoon. I'll schedule that, and again, it wasn't a pressing emergency job. I was looking at some security cameras at a liquor store down the road here. Only job I'll do at a liquor store is plumbing, heating, and security work. I don't do any purchasing there. But guys, and that's the other beauty of it today, guys. I don't worry about things like that. Now, like if you call me up and say, hey, my buddy, the crack dealer's heat is out, will you come over to his crack den and fix the heat? Then absolutely not. But you know what? I have no problem walking into a liquor store because I haven't had a drink in 25 years. I don't have that compulsion. It doesn't bother me. I've been actually working in liquor stores for years, and again, it didn't matter when I was an active or a using addict. But these are concerns, and I bring them up, guys, because it's something you always want to pay attention to. A couple months out of rehab, actually a month or two out of rehab, we did actually have an apartment that was rented by a crack dealer, and somebody I used to buy crack off. And Doug, my buddy, the landlord, the owner, had called me up and he said, hey, do you want to go over and take care of that at Hawk's house? Do you want me to send Edwin? And I told him straight up, I said, if you don't mind, I would much prefer you send Edwin. I said, I feel strong in my conviction, Doug. I said, but you and I both know that Hawk's going to do anything he can to try and get me to come back to him, and he's going to try and offer me free drugs when I'm there, and I just assume not deal with it. I don't want to be around that stuff. And I didn't feel weak for saying that. I felt smart for saying that. Guys, know your limitations. Know where your triggers and your risk factors are. Funny, 11-11, as I say that one, right? And these angel numbers crack me up. And it's just funny how they would coincide. But anyway. But yeah, it's very important to know where you're safe, where you're not, when to ask for help, what relationships are positive in your life, and then to work on, and then to cut out the ones that are negative. If you can repair it, of course, by all means. I'm not telling unless somebody's outright bad for you and brings you into trouble and is oppressing you, then sure, cut them out. And I'm not out here preaching that, turn your back on everybody. Try to help them first. Try to bring them with you. But if they absolutely refuse and they can be nothing but a negative mark in your life today, you gotta be strong enough to expand that and understand every time you remove something negative from your life, you're making room for something positive. I believe that wholeheartedly, guys. I will never get on here and tell you something I read without it, if I haven't learned it for myself firsthand. I mean, I could get on here and just read lessons to you all day long, but that's bullshit. That's reading a book, not telling you, not sharing my experience, strength, and hope with you, and that's what I'm here to do, guys. So it's important, guys. Develop good relationships, and it's funny. I find myself stepping up in all my game. The people that I used to look up to and respect, but didn't feel I could hang out with because I didn't feel like I was on their pace today. Those are the people that I hang out with today, because I am on their pace. But I've taken my time to get myself there, and every one of us is, guys. Don't let what happened yesterday hold you back or feel like you're not qualified for something today. As long as you're doing the work today and you're being the best version of you today, you have as much right to be anywhere, anytime, any place as anybody else, and so do I. And that's the way I approach life today. It was quite eye-opening to me yesterday, guys, because again, it is something. I do have an absolutely terrible record, and something I've struggled with. And it's funny, here we go again. My higher power. As a matter of fact, I hadn't even put 2 and 2 together, guys. My higher power puts these things in my energy field so that I can see the difference of who I am. Because, guys, I'm somebody who, for many years, many years, if I were to get pulled over, it was a guarantee. I was going to jail, and I would be harassed, and I would be, just treated like the scum of the earth, because my record did kind of brought that about on me. And it was amazing yesterday to be treated the way that I was yesterday when I got pulled over. That cop was an absolute gentleman, and he was so kind. And I was dead honest with him, and I was ready to take, I was ready to have the truck code, get arrested for because it was double the speed limit and red light and phone, and I was expecting it to go really, really badly. And he kind of looked at me and said, Mr. Kelly, because, I actually pulled you over, mostly because of the phone, and I wanted to see if you're okay. He goes, we know who you are, we know what you're doing in this town, and we're actually very proud of you. We're very impressed with what you're doing, and I'm looked at it in a totally different light today, guys, and that's shocking to me. And it's one of the reasons I do love Somerville, guys. If you guys are from the Boston area, man, there's no city like Somerville. The police in this town are the kindest. Protect and serve is a motto, but that's what they do. Like, they're amazing. I go out of my way to help them, and the same with the fire department here in Somerville, any way I can, because they're actually amazingly, and that's, I assume it's the same for most people around the world. It's not what I've always experienced, because I've always found that one shitbag, and again, I ran my mouth, and I was causing problems, so I just had bad relationships with them. And as much as I try to go along with most of them, even then, they just look down on me. Like, today, I'm treated with respect because of the work that I'm doing. And it just goes to show that my past doesn't stop me from doing that. Most people wouldn't believe that, guys. And again, I know that cop ran my records yesterday. I could see him in the car for 10 minutes doing it. And like the work that I've done in 6 months overrides the damage I did for 40 years. Is amazing to me today. And it's so encouraging. And that is directly, these are direct messages from my higher powers showing me who I am today, what I'm about today, and how I'm received today. And I love it. I love it dearly. Guys, that is the lesson today. Thank you so much for being here. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much. We will see you in the next one.